it just all just happened so fast, and now she's gone.
So you were driving?
My father was driving. My father, her husband was driving. We were at a stop sign. She's, I mean, he's just a mess right now. So I've been with him, like, this is the same outfit I had on. Like, I haven't been home because I live in Baltimore, but I just have to support my father because I don't know if he'll try to kill himself or anything. He loved her so much. Like, it's pictures all throughout the house of them. Like, I just don't want him to be alone and have something happen to him, you know.
So where were you that night? Let's start from the beginning. You were
okay,
where? You were
so,
celebrating your birthday?
Yes, the VFW is in West Baltimore. It's like off of McMeekin and Druid.
Okay.
It looks like a regular row house.
Right, that most of them do.
Yeah, but we had an awesome time. We danced and we took pictures. We had a great time because I don't get to spend as much time with my family as I like because I'm a musician. So, you know, I appreciate and I cherish any time that we get to, you know, get together.
And they were dropping you off at home?
They were dropping me off back home. And, yeah, like, it just happened just like that. Just like that. And now she's gone.
And you were in the car?
Yes.
And
I was in the back seat in the car when it happened. And, you know, as immediately after it happened, we went to the hospital and she was gone. They worked on her for like 2 hours and she was gone. And she wasn't even 50. But she was 50.
54.
She was 54. Like, she's the nicest woman that you could ever meet in your life. She was just a beautiful person, and she didn't deserve for this to happen to her. You know, it's been all over the news. It's f***ed up because, like, I'm trying to be strong for my father, but I can't. I've never had anything like this happen to me before. I've never seen anyone die right in my face before. I just want them to find, if anybody knows anybody, if anybody has any information, please help us and find out who did this to my stepmother, please. Please, and just protect your family. Like, if you love your family, just let them know, because life is too short.
Came over to say, can I thank her? And as he did that, and I'm not thinking he's going to do what he did, he commenced to stabbing my wife.
We now know that that was not true.
In a news conference announcing the arrest, Acting Police Commissioner Michael Harrison discounted the panhandling story. He said Smith and his daughter were arrested heading for the Mexican border, clearly aware the heat was on. Warrants say Valeria Smith was an accessory after the fact of Keith Smith killing his wife. Smith has a history of committing serious crimes for money. This was the scene in September of 2000 when Smith led police on a chase, then crashed into a city patrol car, sending an officer to the hospital. Smith was pursued as a bank robbery suspect. Once arrested, police reports say he admitted to robbing the same bank in Timonium 3 times. His M.O., forcing tellers to the floor at gunpoint and ordering them to turn over the money. He told investigators he was HIV positive and needed the money to raise his daughter. Smith and his daughter waived extradition today in Texas. They could be returned to Maryland within the next few days. Homicide detectives will be in Texas by tomorrow and will try to interview Keith Smith, according to a spokesperson, this time as a homicide suspect, not as a grieving husband.
We have now learned that a jury was seated in the trial of Keith Smith. Now, you may remember this story. Smith accused of killing his wife in East Baltimore and then blaming it on a panhandler. WJZ live at Mitchell Courthouse tonight. Avajoy Burnett with the beginning of the trial, 3 years in the making. Avajoy.
Rick, it is exactly 3 years to the day of when Jacquelyn Smith was stabbed to death in East Baltimore. She was an engineer, and her husband initially blamed a panhandler for that killing. But today, he's the one on trial for murder. It's a case that grabbed attention around the country. Even Oprah talked about it. Early in the morning on December 1st, 2018, Jacquelyn Smith, an engineer at Aberdeen Proving Ground, was stabbed to death in East Baltimore. Police say her husband, Keith Smith, told them that his wife was stabbed in the chest after she reached out the window of her car to help a panhandler. He even made a personal plea back in 2018.
Cowards that took my wife's life, I hope it was worth it, because you're going to answer to that. One day you're going to answer to it.
But police believed he made the story up. He was the killer, and his daughter was an accomplice. 3 months later, the duo was arrested 20 miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. Police say they were trying to make a run for it. His daughter, Valeria Smith, pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact in connection with her stepmother's murder. And the husband is now in trial for first-degree murder.
Tonight.
Yeah, it's a case we're literally never going to forget. Avajoy Burnett has been following the trial of Keith Smith for months now, and we know, Avajoy, this is the conclusion that the family was hoping for.
Rick and Nicole, good afternoon to you. Well, this is a case, as you mentioned, that had really graphic details in it. Here we had a husband who was convicted for murdering his wife, trying to tap into her life insurance policy, and then going on the run. But despite all of the evidence against him, Keith Smith maintains his innocence. The case of Jacquelyn and Keith Smith was a love story gone tragically wrong. In December, a jury found Keith Smith guilty for murdering his wife after he tried to blame it on a panhandler. Monday, a judge sentenced him to life in prison. Jacquelyn Smith's family had no doubt this would be his fate.
This didn't bring her back, but we're elated, and we feel that, definitely justice was served. You could tell that she really reviewed this case thoroughly and made a decision that made us very happy.
Keith Smith appeared in court via Zoom. Speaking on his behalf, his attorney said he grieves his wife and asked for a lesser sentence. But the judge was not moved, saying she'd never seen facts that showed more willful premeditation. Prosecutors say Keith Smith stabbed his wife over and over as she dozed off in the front seat of the car. The judge said, asleep at the time, she was the definition of defenseless. Attorney Adam Ruther is not associated with this case.
And someone who has been convicted of that kind of conduct, it's very easy for a judge to look at them and say, the primary concern I have here is protecting the public, and the best way to protect the public is to make sure that the defendant before me never ends up back out on the street.
Jacquelyn Smith was beloved.
Brilliant, witty.
She was an engineer, a daughter, sister, and mother to 2 young men who are now serving in the U.S. Coast Guard. That's how her loved ones want for her to be remembered.
I would just like to say that justice was served for Jacquelyn. I'm just thankful that he got life and he won't see the light of day.
Now, in addition to life in prison for murder, Keith Smith got an additional 3 years for a lesser charge. And throughout this trial, we always talked about his daughter, Valeria Smith. Well, she got a deal with the prosecutors because she testified against her dad. She will spend no more than 5 years behind bars related to her stepmom's murder. Live tonight in Baltimore City, Avajoy Burnett for WJZ.